Son of a bitch. Stay. I should say stay. Alright, let's see what we got here. So we're going to go back into what we had used before. Throw it back up on here, right? So we had, what do we have over there? We had some cerulean, I believe. Some cobalt. Alright, so we're going to throw in, put a little more in order this time. So we got a cobalt. I won't throw as much this time, because maybe if we, I'm like talking now, I'm not even near mic. Yeah, maybe if we have it, a little less when we don't feel as bad when we're adding more. Alright, so we'll put a little cobalt. Throw in that little cerulean. I think it'll be like right on top of each other, who cares? These two colors work now. I'm a little late coming in. I'll be honest, I almost blew off the streaming because I totally forgot what day it was. My son's karate was canceled, so as soon as I came home, expecting to basically shovel food in my mouth and get the hell out to his karate, I was told, oh, the instructor's car wouldn't start, so they canceled because the instructor wasn't going to be there. And so I was like, okay, and then we watched Supergirl, which is what we usually do on Tuesdays, before Flash comes on. And so it kind of threw me off. I was thinking it was Tuesday. I was like, I don't stream on Tuesdays. And I went upstairs, thinking to my wife was going to put on Westworld. That we'd watch that together so we catch up. We missed the premiere on Sunday. And I was just watching Young Sheldon. I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, oh wait, it's Monday. Shit, I gotta stream. So I apologize for being a little late. I didn't even think to start stuff like I usually do beforehand. Right before I take my kid to karate, I usually run out and I turn on heaters and I turn on what I have to. Just so it's all nice and prepped for me. Alright, so put the titanium white on there. Alright, what we got? We got a cobalt. We have magenta, right? Magenta. Did I have French ultramarine? Do you guys remember I had French ultramarine on there? I don't think I did. I don't think so. I think it's magenta right here. That's good. That's pretty. I believe this is from Violin and Voice I'm listening to right now. I've said it many times. I'll keep saying it. I have a weird thing for German soprano. If I spoke German, it would make sense, but alright, I need my yellow ochre. You guys seen my yellow ochre? Fuck did this thing go? Yoo-hoo! Oh, please tell me I didn't run out when I wasn't paying attention. I'm really good about that anymore. Oh, we also need that pink, so let's throw that one. Scanning over again for the yellow ochre. Let's throw that. Oh, wait, that's not the right one. That's the Naples yellow. Naples yellow red, actually. Flush pink. That's the one I wanted. Just trying to squeeze it back. It's like, you know, when you deal with a toothpaste tube, you know? Squeeze from the bottom, push it up. And then you always have that one roommate. Wife! That just squeezes from the middle of the tube. I could say that because she doesn't watch the streams. Alright, now let me see. There's the yellow ochre. I'm getting low though, aren't I? Just a quick scan here. I got so much of that shit. Something I used to use a lot of, and I don't use it That's a new button I'll make. I'll make a Brian's wish list paints. If he wants to donate, maybe they'll just donate supplies. So I could sure shit use them. Alright, I'm just double checking here, looking over that mess of magenta, the cobalt violet. Oh, alizarin. Alizarin, we need alizarin. That's the last one we need up there. Alizarin crimson. Telephone call to front desk. Okay. Low on this tube, but I got another tube waiting in the wings. That's good. Really shouldn't be too much. Meanwhile, I'm saying I don't need too much. And then meanwhile, I know people that if they saw this on their pallets, they'd be crapping bricks. So they think they've been wasting. I'm not saying I won't waste. I'll be honest. I know I'm prone for it. Might be able to get like another drop out of this or so. Alright. And like all things, we gotta start with our artist medium. Oh, nice. Motherfucker. Rhinoceros. Hippopotamus, my rhymes are bottomless. I love this song. It's just... Yeah, that's what I want. Hippopotamus. Steve. I'm sorry, rhymes that don't get made. Because rhymes that don't get made, you don't get paid. So potent that in this small segment I made all the women in the area pregnant. Does Disney say my rhymes are sissy? Why? 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 Be more constructive with your back. No party like a man see party. Yes, sir. Yepers. Alright, let's see. A little bit of yellow ochre here, do the browning out. Alright, let's start cooking on this again. Oh, it's kind of a new color. I don't think we have that anywhere else before. Huh. Interesting. The things I do not know at first, I learned by doing twice. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of cerulean, pop that in that color too, just because it'll give it a little texture. Get those D's to the E's and see. Get that to gray out a little bit. That's nice to have all this fresh. Yeah, there we go. That's nice. Have all this fresh paint, fresh, linseed oil. So that was kind of like one of the traps I was finding myself in with the old and busted paint that was up on there. Like it was there's too much, too many dead spots, basically, if you want to call it like that. Like I'd be looking at a spot that I think was a wet piece of a bit of artist medium, and then I go to touch it, and it's sticky and dry, and it made it even worse. So I think this is a good measurement here, a little base to work off of. I'm going to go back and forth here. I feel like the son of Sam. Oh, I'm making my mind slow. Won't lie, I'm a little disappointed when I uploaded the video from last night to my YouTube account. I didn't get any copyright violations, so clearly my singing of the songs wasn't close enough to the reality to catch on to their filters. That's a little closer to that color right next to it than I wanted. I'm gonna take a little of that, a little of that. A little yellow ochre, a little titanium white. Let me rearrange this because I realize I am like completely off camera. I think that's better. I'm not looking at the real stream preview, so hopefully it works a little better. As you can kind of see the palette on occasion too. And then we're like to make echoes when I can. You know, it makes your brain sort of connect one side to the other side without really knowing what's going on consciously. I mean, now that I pointed out, everyone will be like, "Oh, I know what you're doing." But nice grade. Fix that light. Just lighten it a little bit. Too much, we'll see. That's alright. That's alright. That's alright. Funky good time. We're gonna have a funky good time. We're gonna have a funky good time. I'm just gonna pick up a little bit more of that oil. Just a little bit of the medium to. I find it important to make sure that we're still using these darker shades over here, you know, in these lighter mortar areas, so it's actually clear of what was happening there. You know, like that they did some repairs or something on here. There's a time difference, you know, or manufacturing difference of some nature. To just touch it right down here. Give it like a little texture in that one. Yeah, it's not bad. Maybe down here too. Merci beaucoup. Actually, it's a different track. That's by George Clinton. This one that sort of trails off over there. Like a secondary thought. Just this will be kind of a tricky area because there's definitely some longer grasses that are going over. But like this part right here is actually a path that leads into this bridge. So we've got kind of this false divide going on here. You know? It's gonna... if we do it wrong... it'll look like we cheated. Just sort of cut the bridge off. So, here's hoping we don't do it wrong. And if we do it wrong, I'm blaming you guys. This is live, right? I gotta make sure. I always forget to hit the like on host. That's not it. Oh, because I hit. Okay. I caught the eye on there too. There we go. Just got a little texture of that color. There we go, a little magenta into that. Yeah, that looks nice. That looks nice. Get a couple other spots too. Have it picked up, you know. And just like a touch of it, you know what I mean, just on the brush. Just going into a couple of these far, you know, not even like a full trace of the line, just a dab will do you. So it's gonna add just a texture here and there. That'll be red, picked up by the eye. It's real tight there. Get a couple of those in there too. It's like cobalt, violet, cobalt mixture. Just in a couple spots again. I'm not in the mood for the cello suites tonight. Alexa, skip. Alexa, skip. I swear to God, I gotta take off the deflator mask. It's a shame, I like it, but it's like you have to listen to that as a whole. You can't just listen to a random part. You know? Y'all know what I'm saying. And I still can't figure out why it does it. This is a nice in D minor, I believe. Not that you guys can hear it, but it gives me something to talk about. There's no conversation happening in the chat, yo. There's no conversation in the chat. It makes it hard to talk. It's a little closer than I would have liked it, but alright. That's alright. We'll let it slide. I'm going to keep mixing that gray earlier in with the cerulean. It'll give me a bluish gray. Sometimes let me know if it's annoying when I move the mic. I hope it's not too bad. I'm kind of flying blind in most of this. keep my schedule. I gotta keep the schedule. I do have to change it. I made the notice on there. I was going to start going after, up to like 10:30 on Sundays. Or 10, I forget which one I said I was going to do. But after the 15th of April. But I am turning that back, unfortunately. I got to, at least until June. Like I said, my wife reminded me that Sundays now is Westworld, and we got really into that show. I guess it was last summer, right? I think it was last summer we really started to kick onto it. Maybe winter, like that fall or winter. You gotta keep in mind, once the baseball season starts, and for a while afterwards, everything became kind of just large pockets of working, not working. So if we'd started something like in September, I wouldn't register it as being something that happened in September. It was something that happened when we weren't working. Yeah, like that's literally as far down the rabbit hole as it goes, basically. It's like I was not at the Phillies. Especially last year, because last year's September was fucking hard. I mean, this year, like I said, it's nice I'm not being back there. I miss the people. There's been another Phillies family death just happened recently. I kind of wish I was there for everybody. Now I'm not sure I can make it even to the viewing. At least not the viewing that everybody else at the Phillies would be able to go to. So it's like one of those things where I gotta make a call on that one pretty quickly. Because the evening viewing, there's a game on. So everybody that works at the Phillies is likely going to be at the Phillies. So then there's a viewing on Thursday morning that I might attend. That means taking time off of work. So, and they're not so keen with that now with me. If it's a family member, that's one thing, but this is it's a coworker, and the thing is, it seems they've had, there've been a few people that have passed away, and I never went to any of theirs. But again, it's kind of a different mentality to me. Which I say kind of, it is. It's a very different mentality to me. And I haven't attended like every, Phillies employees viewing. It's just there's certain ones that, these guys were like family. Yeah. Certain guys I just knew had my back, when I was there. And I don't really feel like I get that from Siemens, so it's kind of the reason there's that separation in my head. Something that goes back to my childhood in a lot of ways. This area where I live now, where I grew up too, you pretty much relied on people you felt would fight beside you. Not to say we were all running around and beating up people or whatever, that's not what I'm saying. I'm trying to say that, you know what I mean? But you knew if I got a call on, this person and that person because this other person's being an asshole and they want to fight or something, but they're going to bring their friends and yada yada, I knew who I could call. Most of which I feel like I could still call today. So. Two fools in love. Where? It's nothing but flowers. This was buttery. You got it. You got it. Now we got something for dinner. Got it. So it's a oh, no, it's all covered with this. This is nice. I wish I had a lawnmower. That's such a great line. I was an angry young man. I felt it standing tall. With a beautiful highway, in the state, and it's only rails and creeps. Brain's too tired to be singing along, right? It's nothing but flowers. We're sacrificed for agriculture. Nuts. Now it's all cut. Oasis. Dogs, beets and salmon and lemons. Nobody paid much attention. This is a band I still have to work on my kids with. I put it on the car and we were heading to the Flyers game yesterday, and both the older one and the middle child, Vincent, they were both like that to me. Like these kids wouldn't know a good band if it jumped on their face and spit at them. I suppose I have no one to blame but myself, especially with the oldest one. Because, I mean, half of her childhood was raised listening to my music, like literally the music me and my friends would write. I clearly warped her. I can't get used to this lifestyle. It's funny though too, because if my band had ever gotten to the point where we wanted to, you know, I should say like the third iteration of the band, third or fourth. I guess really fourth. We knew the album title was going to be named after something actually Alexis had said. Oh, sorry. I just triggered that again. That my oldest child had said when she was little. We're driving in the car. And we passed this industrial park on the Blue Route. And my little one, I'm trying not to trigger this thing, sits in the back and starts saying, Daddy, it's Axie Lovey Stack. And my buddy Mike was in the car with me. And we're both like, what is it, sweetheart? And she says, Daddy, it's Axie Lovey Stack. What? Axie Lovey Stack. And she's saying it with such a straight face and such, certainty. Like we should fucking know what the hell she's talking about. It's Axie Lovey Stack, damn it. Why aren't you understanding this? And we still to this day don't know what was triggering it at that, where she got that thing from. But we're like, dude, album title's called Axie Lovey Stack, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. Yeah. We went to Bill, who was the guitarist of the band. Like on our way, I forgot home, and we were just like, dude, if we ever get to record the next album, it's Axie Lovey Stack. And he was just like, what? And I'm like, yeah.
Just what it was a Pepsi. Just one Pepsi. She would have given it to me. I'm not crazy. Institution.
Okay. So it's going to be another area we're going to touch up a little bit. Got away from me a little bit.
Well, I'm not crazy. Put me in an institution in the outside exception.
Doesn't matter. I'll probably get hit by a car anyway. So just remember, kiddies, when your kids ask you for a Pepsi, just give it to them.
Alright, come on. We want to finish this tonight. I want to finish this part. Like I said, I don't care if we get to the back part. That ain't happening. That's fine. I didn't think that anyway. But I want to get this.
That's weird. Something got my eye. Hold on. Something in my eye. Fish in my hair. Does anybody else ever do that? That's something I do a lot, which is like, it's not even an exact, like, there's nothing about what I'm saying, something got in my eye that should direct me to Finding Nemo, but the fact that I said it in that kind of fish in my hair, like, it triggers that up for me. I don't know why. I should probably work to make sure that my psychiatrist and psychologist don't ever see these videos. He just goes rambling off into 30 different things. I swear the medications are helping. I don't like that. It's too dark. I'm going to take that. I'm just actually going to smack some on the brush here. Yeah, that's nice. There we go. That worked better. I was just going. There's so much, darker alizarin there. And I mean, not to say like I'm not going to go right here and do this, just to give it some personality. Walk a personality. But take some of that. Some fresh oil on there. Actually, I want to take some magenta. Just a touch of that magenta. It's just like a little friendly hooker there. I can't help it. I like picturing things that Bob would never say. Just a happy little hooker there, Sucky sucky, $5. Nobody's watching it. What the fuck do I get? I had one of my videos get a comment, from someone whose native language is not English. I could tell that just, from the way it was written. And then I went and checked their YouTube page because that's what they asked me to do. And I couldn't really watch it when I was at work. I didn't want to run the risk of something being on there that, as an artist I would have no issue with, but my boss may, So I just want to be safe. I'll check it out later tonight, probably, actually. But the comment was like, "Oh, nice video. I thought it was very nice." And I'm sitting there going, "Yeah, you didn't watch it. Yeah, I can tell that. I can tell you didn't actually watch the whole way through." Watch it all the way through, you'd be like, nice therapy session. None of us wanted that. Please do something fun instead. I will say, I am growing tempted to show some of the footage of, like today I was playing a little bit, my Monday practice. I mean, it's usually I get to play for like maybe a half hour if I'm lucky. And so I popped on real quick. I actually had to use my PC account. Usually I do it on the PS4 just because I can quick log in a lot faster and yeah. But my son was on it because he didn't have his karate, so I jumped on my PC account and I was like, you know what? I want to keep playing with that breakout anyway, the breakout Type S. I like that car. I think a lot of people get distracted by all the new cars and crates and shit, and they end up like, and then they play with the new stuff, and then they end up going right back to the Octane. And that's no critique. I love the Octane. Don't get me wrong. I'm finding myself to be more of a Dominus man than an Octane, but that's just me. Though I like the Imp too. I flip through cars a lot. Basically, it goes into a point of where it's like if I have a losing streak in one car, I'll flip over to another one just to mentally break it up. It's like if you're, I don't know, if you're a baseball player, I guess I imagine it'd be like switching your bats. Like you got your lucky batter, so that you always use, and suddenly you hit a losing streak, or a hitless streak, and it's like, all right, let's try, this bat over here, and see what happens. I have to imagine it's like that. Usually does the trick. The only catch is that you have to, like, at least I do. I have to play a few warm up games. As soon as I switch cards, it's like, I can't do competitive for a little bit. I gotta get used to this one now, this new one. Yeah. Come on, Echo. You know what we could use. I know it. You know what I want. It's hitting around it, but it's not hitting it. I'm not gonna skip. It's still good, but just sort of missing the mark. What I'm looking for. Which is funny because usually it's one of the first ones he plays all the time anymore. But I digress. Hello? No, it's not key. I don't go too much in there because I'm gonna. I think I really liked what we did over here at the archway of the bridge. With the alizarin crumbs in there. Just as early it was pure alizarin. I think I'm going to be using that to outline these little areas here. Give it some pop. Separate themselves so that you can actually catch some stuff. I might do a little. I don't think I will though. I think I'm going to keep it the same. I'll just kind of give it a line to its line. Let's go with that. I liked how it came out. I don't think screwing with is going to give me the results I want. Who keeps bothering me over there? I am not on Facebook right now. Come over and see me. Why don't you come on over and see me? You know how to whistle, don't you? You put your lips together and blow me. Oh, wait. That's not right. These people have so little faith in me sometimes. I know I'm nuts now, but Jesus. My coworkers from the Phillies didn't believe there was going to be water underneath of the bridge. He's like, "Where's that water?" It's like, this is underpainting, man. It's not like the first time I've done this. Even before I got here on Twitch. I mean, yes, I know it's my first Twitch series, so obviously, anybody here hasn't seen it. If this is for the first time they get exposed to me, but like, people that are coming over from my Facebook page, or like the people that are still on my Facebook page checking out the photos I post after every night, they should be used to this stuff by now. The unfortunate set of things is now I have to really stick to the, kind of the rule of start back here, move your way to down here, like kind of, I used to be a little more loosey-goosey about it. I got tired of sitting here with like a little brush like this trying to get that one little dot in between these two colors, and it just looked obscene. It didn't like quite match. I'm not opposed to leaving a canvas, visible in some places. It's just where these things were I'm talking about, it would always be like places that doesn't work, that doesn't fit in. So
So,
I'm gonna try this. This could give me an interesting color. Yellow ochre with whatever cobalt blue is left on that brush. I had a touch of the alizarin.
let's see what we get. Just a happy little kind of mud brown. It's there like the neighbors who don't mow their lawns quite enough. That'd be me. Notoriously bad at it. My wife and I have said many times that actually if we ever found a means or method to live somewhere, where you'd have to have like one of those homeowners association things or whatever, I'm like, yeah, we couldn't do that. We can't pull it off ever. Period. No way, no how. Can't be done. Just because, and maybe I'll post it a little later, like once it gets closer to the right holidays. But I'm one of those houses for Halloween. So, and I will never give that up. Halloween is my favorite holiday. I go absolutely crazy here.
So we've said many times, we've discussed like where we could actually live, and where we would want to live too, because for the most part, I don't want to live somewhere where Halloween's not that big, and where we live, it's a big holiday around here. Always has been ever since I was a kid, and love it, love it to death. I'm one of those houses, like I said, and I mean that like the kids all know me now at this point. I mean, we've been here 8 years or so, and there's basically two sets of children that come to my door now. There are, or I should say, maybe we'll get three. We'll say there's three. There's the kids that are brand new, young kids that have never really, if they're new to trick or treating or whatever, their parents are finally taking them out somewhere, and I'm good for them. I will go and kind of tuck myself in the back, and I tend to drink a lot on Halloween. Makes it more fun. I have my rum and coke, Captain Morgan, 100 proof label. I get fucked up on Halloween. Then the other set of kids are the kids that come up, and they literally, you hear them as they're coming up the steps. Oh, this is a good house. I love this house. And I know I hear them because, like last year, I didn't want to do this one, but I ended up having to default because the costume I was working on had broken, like right as I was trying to put it on. I thought I had it all worked out, and I screwed it up, but so I threw on my ghillie suit and just sat in my front yard. And the kids that knew it, that had been here before, the year before, the year before, I put the ghillie suit out with a dummy on it. So the way this worked was 3 years ago, dressed up in a ghillie suit, scared the shit out of kids for, a few hours. The year after that, I put the ghillie suit on a dummy, and I sat on it, as a scarecrow on a chair and would spring up from them. So the kids were always walking up to the thing, staring at the ghillie suit, had no idea to pay attention to the scarecrow. And then the scarecrow starts jumping out. So then last Halloween, as I'm sitting there in the, there's a little spot there. I didn't notice that one. Huh. I could use something there. I gotta put something there. So now they're coming up to the house looking at the ghillie suit this past year, and they're like, is it a real person this time? I can't tell. And it's lovely when they can't trust you, But, like I said, I go nuts every year with it. And I never want to live somewhere where I can't
or that there's no audience for it. I did see something I wanted. I'm always looking to improve. I'm always looking for something I can add to the yard. Last year, what did we get last year? Last year was our gargoyle. I got this big fucking gargoyle. Things like it was like a tombstone with a gargoyle on it, and it's like probably 4 or 5 feet tall. It's a big sucker. It's a heavy sucker. Um, and you hook a fog machine up to it, and it's kind of motion censored. Where we have in my yard, unfortunately, is too far away from it to be effective that way. But it also has remote control buttons I could just tap, and so it breathes smoke from the fog machines, and the eyes light up, and it gong gong. It's really cool. I adored it, and I had a coupon for Spirit Halloween. That was like 25% off, so I used it on that because it was like a $200 something gargoyle. But one of the times I was looking for something cool, I stumbled upon, I guess it's a distributor for like when you go to like a real haunted house. I saw this thing, and I fell in love with it. It was a $4,000 alligator with I want to say it was a leg hanging out of its mouth. I'm pretty sure it was a leg hanging out of its mouth. And I believe my reaction to it was something along the lines of, yeah, my wife and I were both looking, and I said something along the lines of like, "Dear, I would leave you for this." Just joking. I wouldn't do that, but I mean, I can't have sex with the alligator robotic thing. I mean, I probably could try, but it'd be dangerous. Anyway, snap off. Anyway, but it was a really cool device. It was like this thing would just, you could trigger it, and it would just sit there and shake the leg in the mouth. And I'm like, I have this little low front garden that goes right next to the sidewalk. I'm like, God, I want that thing right there. I want it right there. Just as soon as someone walks by, just, Oh, it would be so wonderful. I dream of that one day. Actually, can you guys see one of my Halloween decorations here? No, she's too low. Never mind. Oh God, I forgot I added this. Sorry, it's the ceremonial drums from Black Panther. Like when he's going to the ritual to become king, and he's challenged or whatever. Like that's. This was a cool scene. I dug this one a lot. This movie was fan-fucking-tastic. There's just no other way to put it. I mean, you could say that they did that thing, where, okay, you had a bad guy that had the same stuff that Black Panther had, but you know what? Yeah, and Marvel's done that time and time again, but they did a different thing with that one. And I don't want to spoil anything. I mean, I know it's been out for a while, but, dude, it's just... They made Killmonger somebody you could completely and utterly relate to. You understood why, he viewed things the way he did. It's beautiful. I think it definitely moved up quickly up my rank of, better Marvel movies. Got a little messy in here. It's hard to see what was what. And I think we need to actually messy this up a little bit just to give it a little more matching personality. It is a better
set up over here. And it's okay because there's gonna be a lot of shit under those. There's some funk under there, and that's okay. We're going to use that, so we can leave a, you know, it doesn't have to be. Quite as varied, because there's more funk over here than there was over here. All right, just a little bit left to go. And Wednesday we'll tackle that back section there. Does anybody know, actually, speaking of Black Panther, the commercials played a remixed version of The Revolution Will Not Be Televised. And I really liked the way it sounded when it was in the commercials. I think a lot of people did. But it's not on the soundtrack. It's not on either one of them, either the actual score soundtrack and not like I would expect it to be there, but and it's not on the actual release soundtrack. Like, you know. Which was good. I'll be honest, it wasn't a great one. I was just, you know, I didn't find it as I want to make sure it sounds right. Like, to me, this movie, especially, was very important. Yeah, I'm not the only one who shares this goodness, but you know, for especially young African American kids, this was some, you know, their first real superhero that they could see. You know, like as far as an African American lead superhero. I mean, people kept bringing up Blade as, you know, the first on the screen, but it's like, dude, kids shouldn't be watching Blade. Period. You know, and nobody should watch Blade Trinity. Sorry, had to take a shot. But the thing is, the soundtrack was pretty dirty in the language, and I don't think that was appropriate, just on the sense of, you know, when it comes to like some of the other Marvel movies and stuff, like what my kids have liked, you know, it's nice that like my daughter can just ask for the Guardians 1 or 2 soundtrack, and I have no problem putting it on because there's nothing in there that is overly offensive or anything like that. I mean, there might be some questionable stuff to a degree. I'll admit, not a huge fan of the fact that my youngest favorite song out of either soundtrack is Cherry Bomb. I see problems in my future. I'm prepping for. But, you know, I can put that soundtrack on for the kids and not have to worry about it. Whereas the Black Panther stuff, it's like, that album just wasn't something I could throw on for them and feel comfortable with it. And that's kind of a shame because I adored that movie. And I want to keep that movie's influence in my house. You know. I guess because my thing is, look, my wife and I do our damnedest to make sure that we keep on top of what my kids are watching whenever they're on YouTube and stuff. I mean,
my son's getting to the point now that he's definitely watching stuff where the language is questionable. And look, I'm the last fucking person
Could be talking about someone's dropping the F-bomb. You're watching this, you've heard it how many times already? But there's times when something may be said on there,
very specific word. I'm just gonna say that. That I pretty like. Let's put it this way. If it were up to me, outside of a historical reference, that word should be wiped out. The human language, just period. It's just so horrible, and and my son's one time dropped it. Something happened in one of his games, and he dropped it, and I happened to be in the bathroom,
which is right next to his room,
and I put the fear of God in him the second I heard it. Whipped around that corner.
And one of his friends dropped it too at one point at my house, and I just literally told him, I said, that word's banished from this household. I'm like, basically outside of rap songs. And it's not really the word that they use. It's a slight variation with an A at the end. I can see the difference. And, it's like,
it's very easy, what that incident with my son proved is it's very easy to find where, you take your eyes off the kids for a second and they watch something that, maybe it's from a racist asshole. And that's where I got it. Because it doesn't hear in my house. But like I said, outside of maybe, the occasional rap song or whatever. And when it's being played, I won't sing along with the word. That's, my band covered Woo-Ha back in college, and literally I went to like every black friend I had before we did it. It was like,
I want to stay true to the lyrics,
but if me saying it offends you, I'll change it.
And they were like, it's more offensive for you to change it. I said, okay. I just want, as long as and everybody was the same way. And I was like, all right. I just want you guys to know that I'm not comfortable with it unless you literally all give me permission. Like, if one of my friends said, no, don't sing it that way, I'd be like, nope, okay, we're done. Not doing it that way.
So I, like I said, and that was it. That was the only time I've ever allowed it in my house, so to speak. And so when he said it, I freaked the F out on him. And I just want to make sure that my son doesn't find his way into any of these morons. Like I was watching a TED Talk today of a guy who had been part of a white power movement, and he's reformed now, and he realized all the stuff that he had done and all the stuff he's lost, and he's now someone who works actively to convert people from that mindset. It's a beautiful TED Talk. If you haven't seen it, it's one of the newer ones. It's beautiful. I highly recommend you see it. And and look, it may not be from YouTube. Like I said, it may be from something that one of his friends picked up, and their dad's a racist idiot or something. That's I can't do much about that other than to just keep on top of him and be like, look, this is not our house. We don't behave that way. We don't view people that way. I have far too many friends of varying minorities to allow that to exist in my household. And that goes for, derogatory terms for gay men, derogatory terms for lesbians, any of that. It's not allowed. I just can't. To even allow it to slip by him would be hypocrisy to me. So I can't do it, without having some retribution.
letting him know this is not acceptable. Alexa, skip. Seriously, deflator mouse again. So now I'm spinning wheels. I'll probably get an update again. Fall into the sea. Earthquake, tsunami, there's still no place I'd rather be. Earthquake, tsunami, there's... From Seattle, fall into this. God, it's got to sound like Scuttle singing, doesn't it? Ariel, how you doing, kid? This would be so much easier if I had an audience. One day. And then I can talk to people about art. And stop doing all this stupid horse shit. Just trying to fill space. From Seattle, fall into the sea. Earthquake, tsunami, there's still no place I'd rather be. Earthquake, spare me. Alright, now where did I see that one I saw? Did you guys see it? This one. The mother, how's the family? I'm just calling to say hello. How's the weather? How's my father? This is totally a guilty pleasure song for me. Mother, are you listening? It's just a call to ease your mind. Life is perfect, never better. If I send me out to see the world, were you scared that I might get hurt? Would I try a little tobacco? Would I keep on hiking up my skirt? I'm hungry, I'm dirty, I'm losing my mind, everything's fine. Love it. I'm freezing, I'm starving, I'm bleeding to death, everything's fine. I'm working, making money. Yeah, baby. I can feel it. Alrighty, and I think this is just going to be like my last little bits. Life is perfect. Alright, we're going to hit that quick line use pretty much everything we have here. I could take the alizarin crimson, just load up the brush with a little bit. So much of this oil is just leaked down this way, so we're just going to suck it up from there. Just mix it in, make it real thin. So there are people that like use paint thinner for this, and yeah, like the turpentine or whatever. I don't like doing that. I prefer, if I can, to liquid it up with the medium, because it retains a sense of thickness. I think sometimes if you rely heavily on paint thinner or turpentine, you're going to get a less chunky feel. And that's what you're going for. Go for it, dude. If that's what you really want to hit, that's fine. I mean, just for me, you look at my paints, they're thick. They are... Witches at black masses, evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. In the fields the bodies burning, as the war machine keeps turning. Death and hatred to mankind, poisoning their brainwashed minds. Oh Lord, yeah. Whoo. 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 Politicians hide themselves away. This world stops turning, ashes where the body's burning. No more war pigs have the power. Hand of God has struck the hour. Day of judgment, God is calling. You know what I think I might do? Take like it's a mixture of that pink and yellow ochre with a touch of the alizarin, just to catch this upper part. You know what I mean? So it gives it a divide. There's this little extra edge here, and it has a nice touch. Colors, so it adds a I think that kind of works. And actually, I might add I'm going to add that to the far end here. Yeah. So is it like this side's one thing, this side's the other side. Yeah. I'll leave it on the dark end there, on this shadowy area. But here, we could do it here. Yeah. Kind of like that. It's different. It's unique. It's the new style. Guardian Scalabuco. What's about this? Alright, so we went past our time again. But I was late, so I'm making it up to you. the one person that ever checks us out ever. So that'll be it for tonight. We finish this up. Thank God. At least this part, for the most part. Like I said, there may be touches, and we're going to add more funk here later on. But I want to get this part done. Once we're finished with this up here on Wednesday, it's in the water, thank God. But let's get this all finished up. Gotta get a little under here. But that's going to be a bit of a unique spot, so. All right, so see you Wednesday. If I can find the stop button.